you then.
Here I am.
There you are.
Wonderful. Lovely people. Welcome to episode 38 of the Making Stories podcast. We're a bit out of practice.
We're in a mood. We're in a certain mood. We
In
don't know what it is. It's a very good mood.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a mood. So strap in for some. My mind just went completely off the rails there. Anyways, so grab your whip, grab your cup of coffee. I really need my second one of the day, and settle in for, as Claire just put it, all the post-launch funsies of our latest podcast episode. We're Hanna Lisa and Claire over there, my lovely, very, very dear friend and colleague, and together we're a part of the Making Stories team. Here at Making Stories, we're all about knitting sustainably, and we support you, the knitters in our lives, by doing two things. We publish a biannual magazine. Issue 8 has just come out. And we also run a web shop, an online shop for sustainably produced yarns that we curate with very loving hands and hearts for you. Yay. And all you're making. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about today. I think it's like all small snippets, but I think it's going to be a really fun episode. We have some planned cast-ons, we have some FOs, we have some whips, we have some announcements, a little bit of everything. So as I said, grab your work in progress and your cup of tea or coffee and prepare to sit and knit with us for like 30, 40 minutes.
Yay! Fun.
Happy issue 8! Woohoo! It's out now!
And it's so good. Oh, I love it. I had such a hard time picking my first cast on for this issue.
Yes. So, issue 8 has been in the works for 15 months, as all our issues, and it's finally seen the light of the day on September 1st, which was just over a week ago. It's all under the theme of campfire, so lots of cozy knits that we put together and curated to sort of accompany you on your forest adventures, but also everyday adventures. So it's like really lots of texture and cables and squishy goodness, and it's really just and color work. Oh my god, those socks make me want to knit color work socks, which is not a desire I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm not. Hands off to everyone who's decided to cast those on, because color work socks terrify me. Look at those cables. Wait, where am I?
What is this? How is this even real?
I know. I love it.
It's super cool. It's such a, it's seriously such a good issue. And there are a couple of things about the issue that make it sort of maybe slightly extra special. For one, as you will have seen, while Claire is showing some of the pictures, we do not only have one, that's okay, one model, but we have two models. So Emma and Paloma, because we thought it would be fun to showcase the same pieces on different body sizes and body types, because so much about what we do here at Making Stories is helping you make things that you love and will wear for a long, long, long time. And sizing is a very tricky and honestly very subjective thing. So, you know, depending on how you like your sweaters, for example, to fit, you might want to knit the same size as someone who is maybe a little bit bigger than you, if you prefer a little bit more ease to your sweaters. And so sizing, I think, is something that, as I said, like, is really subjective. And so we thought it would be good to just show that a sweater like Orlina, for example, or Pyrite, how that looks like. And it's exactly the same sample. It's exactly the same size, but it's photographed on two people with different bust measurements and lengths. And so it just looks different. So yeah, so so that is one thing. And it's also a very wonderful location that Melinda
It's
got to shoot at.
gorgeous.
Is gorgeous.
So
So
beautiful.
Melinda, our wonderful photographer, actually photographed this in the Sierras, um, and on on a farm, mostly in the outdoors. And the land that it was photographed on um, is the traditional and historic homelands of the Mono tribe, Kozo people, Timbisha, and Kaiwetsu Native Americans in Inyo County. And we're very thankful that we got to do the photo shoot on that land. I think it just captures the spirit and the theme that we wanted to have, the feeling that we wanted to convey with the theme, really beautifully, without, if I dare say so, being very obviously campfire. There's a fire in some of the photos, but it's not just us sitting around a campfire all the time, which is not what we wanted. So it's, yeah.
No, I think that because I love sitting around a campfire, but it's quite a literal thing, and not everyone has access to just going out and sitting around a campfire the whole
Yeah.
time. So you want to make sure that was definitely the theme that guided the collection. But also, if you live in the city and you don't have the option to get around a campfire very often, we also want these pieces to really translate to that as well, and to, like, people commuting in the fall and winter, and layerable pieces that are just gonna
Yeah.
look gorgeous but also be really useful.
Yeah. And
So
that's something that I was reminded of when I was looking through the designs again, trying to pick out which design I wanted to knit first. And I think a lot about wearability when I add things to my wardrobe. I have a toddler. I'm on the playground and outside, and there are like grubby kids' hands all over me all the time. So, whatever I make just needs to stand the toddler test, really. Really, like it has to be, as I said initially, like it has to be for those everyday adventures, which for us are just taking like his little, like, whatever that thing, like the bike where they don't have the pedals, however that thing is. Anyways, going to the
oh yeah.
playground, like climbing up on walls, all of that thing. And like it also just has to be just, like very just easy to throw on. And as you said, layer over one another. And I was reminded that like all of the pieces of this collection fit that bill so wonderfully. Like so,
Yeah.
like it's so good. Like seriously so good. And I had such a hard time choosing um what I wanted to make, because
Me
there were
too.
three holes in my wardrobe that I really desperately need to fill before the weather gets any colder. I do not have a hat because I shrunk my Among the Trees hat, so it's like too short to fit over my
No.
ears. Yeah, it happens.
Oh.
Um, I do not have a shawl or scarf, which, how did that even happen?
How?
Well, it's not something that I actually really like to
mm,
knit. I have one, but it's a gigantic triangular shawl, and it's just not
yeah.
very practical. Like
No.
my outdoor jacket for the past few years has been one of those Patagonia, like really thin and lightweight, but very
hmm
warm outdoor jackets that zips up like here. I like
Mm.
it's just doesn't work
You
with like
can't. Yeah.
it exactly.
Unless
You
you wear it
can't.
on the outside, but then I find with triangular shawls, at least, if you've got like a slippy outer shell, I
Yeah, no.
think the way I move, it's yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
same as
just
you.
it's gone.
I can't.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And like I also how does that even happen? I run a knitting business. I don't have a pair of hand knit mittens anymore because the last ones that I made, I wore them to death basically, and then I threw them out. I think like 2 winters ago, and I just haven't made myself new ones. Um, so plus there were like three patterns that are exactly in
Yeah.
those gaps, and then there are also like a lot more like pyrite. Like I can't.
I
How? I
know.
mean, can we just like very quickly
It's
talk about this?
gorgeous. That it's gonna have to be
What
knit at
is
some
this
point.
even? I
Yeah, I
know.
know.
I know. And I was packing up orders today, um, and there were two pyrite kits within that order pile, like one in that original colorway, and then another one in silica, which is this gorgeous neutral, like slightly purplish gray. And I was like, oh, so
Yeah,
good. So please, everyone, get some yarn for pyrite and make it because it's so good.
it's gorgeous. I'm like that with Orlina because I I very nearly chose Orlina as my. I haven't. I'm not gonna cast it on first, but only because I don't have the time to
Are you
commit to a
very
brioche.
sure?
Have you seen it? Look at those. It just looks so cool. And it's in Ginger Twist, oh, which is one of my favorite bases ever. So yeah, that I'm gonna have to make that. I want to make that in the yellow at some point. I know, wouldn't that be really cute?
Are
A
you
yellow
kidding?
Alina.
Yes, that would
So
be
that
really
is
cute.
at some point that is definitely gonna happen. But yeah, I can't right this second. I cannot commit to a brioche sweater. Um,
Okay, what
but yeah,
can you commit to though? Because
what
I know
can I
you've
commit
decided.
to? Well, I've already given a slight sneak peek of this beauty.
Ooh.
So I am gonna be knitting. Let me find it. Uh, ta-da! Look,
Sojourn. Oh my, just
Sojourn, which is, well,
can we
if you
just look
watch this
that?
podcast, you know I'm a huge fan of this designer. I've already knit her watershed scarf. Diane Q Lan is such a good designer. I absolutely love Q's work. She is. Oh, just look at that. I knit Watershed from issue 5.
Yes, five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enjoyed every moment of it. And as soon as her submission came in, we saw the submission. And I was just like, oh my god, it's gonna
It's like,
be
yep,
so good.
done.
It because Q's one of those designers that's just she's such a pleasure to work with as well. But every single detail is so thought through. It the cable, the way she plays everything, she's just brilliant. So and
Yeah.
I loved knitting watershed, so I knew from the beginning I was gonna. And I'm not a scarf knitter. This is the funny thing, I'm not a scarf knitter at all. And I was like, I'm gonna have to knit watershed. It's just calling to me. And then as soon as I did that, I was like, I'm gonna have to knit Sojourn because I need to add it to my because I wore watershed so much. So yeah, and I had so it was made with Daruma Natura's Zulia, and I already had some in my stash, which made the decision even easier.
Super good.
So this is the granite colorway, which is gorgeous. So it's just gonna go with everything. So this is what I'm gonna be casting on.
If anyone wants to join Claire, we have the exact same yarn and the exact same colorway in the shop. Just
Yes.
saying, right this second.
And I'm not
And
just saying this because we sell it. I swear to God. This is one of my absolute favourite yarns ever. This
yeah,
and Mulus, which we also carry. There's a reason we carry both of those bases. And it's because they are so versatile. And I mean, this is a woolen spun yarn, which traditionally you wouldn't normally choose to go with. I mean, you can do, but it doesn't always. A woolen spun yarn doesn't always make the stitches pop out as
yeah.
much in cables and things. But there is something about this particularly. It's so round and bouncy. It
Yeah, I
makes
think it's
everything
because it's so
3D.
round. Yeah,
So
it's like
round.
it just really like it's like a three.
Well,
I mean it's
play with it.
3D. Like just look
Yeah.
at this from the side. Like it's just so good. And
If you
honestly,
actually, I think it's because it's so bouncy. If you look at how much, I don't know if you can see that very well, but if you look at how much stretch there is and bounce to the
ooh,
actual yarn, and when you squeeze it, it's just really plump.
yeah.
Um, So if you couldn't get your hands on this particular yarn and you're looking for a woolen spun yarn with the similar properties, look for something really spongy is how I'm going to call it. It's a spongy yarn. I don't think anyone's ever called yarn spongy before. So here we go. That's kind of what you're looking for if you want a woolen spun yarn that's also going to give you that 3D. But this is such a sure bet, and it smells really good too. Smells like a sheep.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I will most definitely become a scarf twin. Well,
yes.
almost. I'm not going to knit it in the same colorway, I don't think, but that's going to be my second cast on, I think, from issue
And we have
8.
so many nice colours
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah.
in that yarn. So
And you know what? I'm really drawn to all of the like rusty reds at the moment,
ooh
which is not
yeah.
something I usually gravitate towards. So, yeah,
Ooh.
it's going to be
'Cause
fun just digging through our stash of Gilead and picking out a colorway. So,
I smelled the
yeah.
yarn and I'm now covered in chili hair. She must have been like lying next to my
She's like,
ball of wool,
oh,
and now I'm like,
chili
ooh.
all over the.
So yes. So what are you gonna be casting on then?
So, given that I frank my only hat and I need a portable travel project because, well, the day after we recorded this, but by the time that you'll be watching this, I'll already be there. Need a travel project because I'll be taking a train to London, and also I'll be in London because I'll be at Unravel Autumn in Farnham on the weekend, September 9th and 10th, and I'll be there as the booth help for Garthenor. So I couldn't really do anything else but choose Fire
Fire
Shadows.
shadows.
Plus,
Oh,
I just completely fell in love with colorwork knitting all over again. Why? I'll show you like in a second when I show you what I've been working on, but I think this is just such a great project. A colorwork hat with like a really simple but very striking colorwork pattern in a decay weight yarn. What more could you want?
exactly. It's gonna be
Um,
such a nice project.
yeah, and it's I mean it is really something that I very very much need. Um, and I picked out some colors for it, and I'm going in a very different direction.
Oh, that's gonna be so nice.
I think
That's gonna
so.
be
I think
so
so
nice.
too. So I laid out all of the different colors of beacons that we still had in stock. Quite a few are gone right now because a lot of you wanted to knit the coloring book raglan, which I don't blame you for
Don't
because
blame you at all.
nope. There are still some colorways left with sweater quantities, but I they happen to be next to one another, and I just couldn't get them out of my head. So
I
this is
love
Cinder,
that.
a super lovely natural gray. And this is Lichen, which is
Ooh.
dyed on the exact same gray. So all of the colorways, all of the dyed colorways, I think are dyed on this,
Mm-hmm.
on Cinder, which is a 75% Polwarth, 15% Romney, 10% Hebridean blend. So all of the gray it gets from, you know, the Hebridean, I think.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love how that
And it's,
the two tonal
yeah,
colors together.
and I think it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be low contrast for sure, a lot lower
Mm.
contrast than the sample, but I think it's going to be
But I
really
like
pretty.
that because we went for
Yeah,
really high contrast with the
yeah,
sample, which I love that too. But I think this is going to give a whole different vibe to it,
yeah.
which,
I'm very excited. So,
yeah.
the gray will be the main color, and then the color work will be in lichen. And I really like
Ooh,
the pom pom that Mara, the designer, made, which is a lot of the main
yes.
color and then just sprinkles of the contrasting color. So I might just go for that as well.
Oh, yeah. How
Yeah.
has she done that? Is that just because that's not weird? Because normally, if I've done a two-tone pom pom before, I've just held the two colours together. How has she done it? We'll have to ask her. We'll have to ask her and
Yeah.
find out
Yeah, I
because
know. Yeah.
that would be good to know. Because I thought that when I looked at it, if anyone knows how to do that, please let us know in the comments
Let us
below.
know. Yeah.
because I'm assuming it's just going to be like you literally wind it through the contrast just maybe once and like sandwich it in the middle of the pom-pom, the
I
other
would think
colour.
so. Let me just quickly check the pattern if it's maybe in there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I
Nope.
really like that as well, and I think especially what we'll find out. We'll find
We'll
out how to
find out.
do that. Because I think especially with the top two like low contrast colours you're doing, it'll just give it the pom pom a little bit of
Yeah. Yeah.
something. I like it.
Me too.
I'm excited. Oh my god, you're gonna have that done in like knowing you, I bet it's done by the time you get to London.
Yeah. No, maybe not. We'll see. I have 12 hours on a train, so.
You'll
But I
have the
also
hat
want to
done,
finish.
and then you'll have cast on your scarf, and by the time you come back,
Yeah.
you'll be further along than I
I'm
am. I
like,
guarantee it.
it's so funny because I planned, like, I was going through my packing list this morning just mentally, and I was like, okay, how many projects do I take? So I'm definitely taking the yarn for the hat. I'm definitely taking what I'm about to show you because I want to finish this. Actually, I want to finish this before I start the hat because I'm suspecting the minute that I start the hat, I don't want to knit on anything else until it's
Yeah.
done. Um, and then I was like, all right, so I have, remember, like from months ago, I started my pair of lion socks in the wonderful El Robledal de la Santa Mojerino. I'm going to rip those back and make them in a size that actually will fit me because
Yeah.
they won't. And I'm also a little bit annoyed at the texture of the foot. So I just want to reknit them. I'll
Yeah.
report
Good
back on
idea.
a future podcast episode. So I thought I could also take those. And I was like, is that not enough? And then I reminded myself that I'm going to a yarn festival. So if I ran out of yarn, I do not think it will be a problem.
No.
So,
And you're probably going to come back with a bunch of other projects you want to cast on too.
what? No. Oh. Garthenor is launching a new limited yarn and it's really good. So,
It looks amazing.
yep.
I'm so jealous that you're going to be there. I want to go and play with Garthenor's things. Although I get so distracted, I won't be any help behind,
That's fine.
behind the stall.
It's so good. Like it's really it's a really cool experience for me because I love their yarns. Like they're just genuinely
Yeah.
absolutely amazing yarns. And so I have no problem whatsoever singing the praises of those yarns from the rooftop so that every single person in the entire Farnham Maltings area space can hear this. And it's so much easier for me to talk about someone else's products than about mine or ours, you know? So,
I know.
and
No, I
it's
know what
funny
you mean
because
though with Garthenor. It's so
it's
nice.
for Johnny. Johnny and I went on an Instagram live last week, and Johnny was like, "Yeah, I'm always like a bit modest about our yarns." I was like, "Perfect. I don't need to
Yeah.
be." So
I
let's
remember
go.
when we first remember at Nottingham Yarn
Yep.
Expo, the one and only time I've seen you in real life, and which is weird, but
Freaking
that's the
COVID.
first time. I think that's the first time I ever saw any of us ever saw Garthenor, and I remember Claire Mountain was there from Sister Mountain.
Shoo. Yeah.
Yeah, and I met Claire for the first time, and we ended up in like we went for lunch and ended up in like a really awkward thing where this woman was pushing in a queue. Anyway, but I remember she came up to me and she was like, Have you seen that stall like around the corner?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "Go check it out. It looks really cool." And this was before Garthenor were doing any of the dyed colours. It was just all
Yeah.
natural, which I think at a yarn festival is like because you have a lot of bright colours and a lot of indie dyers and a lot of gorgeous colours. But it was like this one stall with just all natural yarns, and we all were kind of like, "Ooh, what is this?" And we were all really excited. And I just fell in love with Garthenor from then on. It's just been a firm favourite, and Johnny's
It's
just so
so cool that
nice.
you say that because I don't, now that you say it, I remember that it was the first time that we saw
Yeah,
Garthenor. And I remember now, I mean, I was, I am introvert, right? Like, so going up to people and talking to them is not in my comfort zone,
No.
believe it or not. So the, a lot of times
I'm
people
the
are like,
same way.
what? No.
I know, I'm the same
So
way.
I remember, like, I had to take all my courage and walk up to this because it was a dude. Like, I mean, Johnny, right? So I was like, oh God, now need to talk to a person. And that person doesn't know me, and they probably think I'm like very awkward. And it was the first time that I actually asked for a business card, like proactively, because I loved someone's yarn so much that I wanted them to become a yarn partner. And
Oh, that's so
Johnny very
nice.
graciously gave me his business card, and we've been yarn partners
Oh,
ever since. And over the last year, Johnny and I have become really good friends, so which is also very
oh,
nice.
that's so nice.
Yep,
You're gonna have a great time. So if
we
anyone
will.
else is going to that festival, go find Hanna Lisa and Johnny and
Yes,
say hello.
we will be in the. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the southwest. So Garthenor is a sponsor of Unravel, so there will probably be like big signs pointing to the Garthenor room because it actually is a whole room. We will have obviously all of the wonderful Garthenor yarns, including the limited edition that has a beautiful story behind it. We will also have copies of issue 8 and all of the samples. So you can come and
Yay!
try them on. And I know that Sally and Emily of the Garthenor team have been working out swatches, a lot of swatches in their yarns for a lot of those patterns. So we're there to help you pick your yarns and help you pick your size and help you pick your colorways and yeah, just
Oh, it's
also
gonna be
chat.
lovely. Definitely go
Yes.
along. Definitely go see them.
Alrighty. So, just super quickly, let me just super quickly show what else is on my needles because then I also want to talk about the elephant in the room. That is not an elephant, but a sweater. Before we do that, did I actually show this on the podcast the last time? Maybe not.
I think you might have showed the start. I'm blanking now because it
Maybe.
was just solo one, and while I did
Yeah.
watch it, it's different when
Okay.
I'm not.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
this is also full of Hanna Lisa here.
Is it Tilly hair?
No,
Did
it's
she
my
get
own
her
hair.
too?
She just jumped across the pond. It's like, okay. Um, so this is a gift net for a baby that's not turning out as newborn size as I hoped, but it's fine. Well,
At least it's not smaller. They can grow
yeah,
into it.
exactly. I was like, okay, I mean, it's fine, you know. And I adore this. So
It's gorgeous.
I needed something portable and fun, and also obviously like something for that baby that has been born. And I looked at the yarns in the yarn cave, and something just clicked. I made this pattern already, I think at least once, maybe possibly even twice. And it's like, I think this pattern would be really good in this yarn. So the pattern is the Baby Bohem sweater by Randy Hjelm, who goes by Faro Knit on Instagram. And it's
Ooh, it's so
well, it's a
nice.
yoke sweater, colorwork yoke sweater. And the yarn is Marina Skua's Mended 4-ply in the new spin. In the
Oh,
colorways, Sheep Sunny. So that's the light cream with tiny flecks of gray. Look at how, can we just quickly
yeah.
talk about how good this is?
It's
Very good.
gorgeous.
And coal.
Oh, that looks so good together.
Yeah, right. So I am incredibly happy with how this turned out. And like always, you know, I tend to do like maybe 2 color work projects in a year. If you remember, the last one that I did was the colorwork scarf of dreams or
Oh, it
doom
turned
that
out
I made
so
for my
good.
mother.
It was a
But
lot of
it
color
turned out
work.
so, it was a lot of color work, but it was so worth it.
Oh, it's
Um,
gorgeous.
and I haven't knit color work since, and so I had to remember how to knit color work. But then once I got back into it, I remember how much I loved it, and I love how those colors go together, and I mean, it's not like a super quick knit because it's fingering weight yarn, but it's nice. I'm almost done with the body. I also heavily modified the pattern. The pattern is knit from the bottom up, and I was like, nope, not doing that. So I reverse engineered. I have a slight suspicion that I might have miscalculated the neckline because it's pretty wide, but
It is quite wide, but
yeah,
then what you could
it's
always do, I guess, is just run a little elastic slightly just to bring it
yeah,
in.
that's what I was thinking.
Mm.
Or maybe like a little crochet edge as well to stabilize it a
Yes,
little bit.
yeah, good idea.
Um, so I modified it to be top down, and then the other thing that I'm doing that I've just started is I'm going to do like a little bit more color work before I start the hem ribbing,
Ooh,
just a teeny
nice.
tiny bit,
Oh,
like a
that'd
little
be nice.
triangle.
Hmm.
So yeah, so this will be my travel project for the train tomorrow. Um,
Fun.
Now I want to hear all about that thing that you're wearing.
Oh, this little thing that
That
finally.
little thing.
Well, if you've never seen this before, then clearly you've never watched the podcast because I think I've talked about this for since we launched issue 7. So I literally, this is my merrymaker for any new viewers. I literally, this is my cast on for when we released issue 7, and it came off my needles the night before we released issue
That's
8.
perfect. That's
So
perfect timing.
I'm so happy with it. The reason it's taken me so long is because I knit the entire thing down to the body and then tried it on and just really wasn't happy with the fit. And that was because of something I'd done. So this is modified slightly. I didn't use the recommended yarn. I knit from Stash. I had this, which is a BFL. Oh, my fingers are going in a weird direction. This is a BFL Masham blend that I got.
Mm.
It's been in my stash for ages. It's actually very, very similar base to what we've used for Orlina, but it was a company that has since stopped trading. It was a Hollyhock Fibre company. So I had this in my stash. I also had a skein of this gorgeous yarn, which is from Botanical Fibres here in Nova Scotia. And I thought, ooh, Merrymaker was in 3 different contrasting colours, but I thought I'm just going to do the one contrasting colour and go with it, which I'm really excited about because I think it's definitely a different feel to the original sample, but I really like it. I think it's,
But I love it. And I think it's
yeah,
like if I think of Merrymaker, the first word that comes to my mind is playful. And I think it's kept that playfulness. So,
exactly. And the problem with, I'm going to stand up slightly if you can see, so this is where it's landing
oh,
on
it's so
me.
good.
So it's a really good length. I did have to modify slightly because the yarn I used for the contrasting stripes. Oh, it's doing it again. It's I swear this, because it's like mirrored. I get confused every time. I'm like, um, it was definitely, it's a nat brushed alpaca, but it was a definite lace weight, whereas it's more closer to a sport weight, I'd say, that we used for the original yarn, which was a Neighborhood Fibre Co. Also a gorgeous yarn. But it does mean that that my rows of colour work are a little thinner than what, if
Mm.
you look at that, I'll pop up a picture so you can see the original. They're a lot wider, and I thought, because I was a little worried about running out of yarn, I only had the one skein, although I needn't have worried because this is what's left. There's still plenty left.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I could have done a couple of extra rows in
Yeah.
between the colour work, if I'd have wanted to. But I'm actually really happy with the skinnier lines. All it meant is I've had to do add more rows in between the colour
Yeah.
work, just so for the yoke, I got the right depth, because if not, I would have followed it and it would have been up here.
Yeah.
So that was one mod that I did on it. And then what happened is, once I'd done the body and I was up to doing the sleeves the first time, I tried it on and I realised there was a lot of ease in the sleeves, and there wasn't a lot of ease around the bust. And I prefer it the other way, personally. I don't want it to, I love the depth of the yoke because it's not too close to my underarm, so I don't feel restricted at all. There's probably maybe a little more than other people would like under there, but for me this is perfect. I don't like anything too binding. But yeah, how it was originally, I wanted to redistribute
Yeah.
the stitches, so I ripped all the way back, and which I really don't mind doing. I was like, my husband was just like, what are you doing again? And I'm like, no, it's gonna be fine, because this way it'll fit perfectly, and which it does now. So that's a good thing you can do. I think I talked about it on the podcast before, but if you are into this style of sweater, top down, and you're in that position, you're just like, I just don't love the way it's fitting, you can rip back and redistribute and do it to your own body measurements, because that's what I did. As long as all I had to make sure is whatever I was redistributing, that it was the right stitch count for once I picked up, because I think it's repeats of 8 stitches for the colour work. So I just need to make sure that the sleeves and the body were going to add up to 8, a multiple of 8 basically. So yeah, and I did at the end rip back and add a little bit extra length to the body, because I had started the hem right, so the ribbing was happening right after that last colour work stripe, which I just did at the time because I wanted it a little bit more cropped, but in the pattern it does get you to add some more, which I thought that looks way better, so I ripped back and added a little bit more length. And the only other mod I did is I decided to knit straight on the sleeves. I didn't do any shaping at all, and just came in a little bit before the ribbing, just because I tried it a few times bringing it in, and I don't know, for me, I just really like this style of sleeve, where it
looks
gives a
very
slight
good.
little puff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, because I'd added a little bit more ease to the body, and I made the sleeves a little slimmer. I don't know, I felt like it balanced it out just better.
Yeah,
So
I like the proportions of it. I think
yeah.
it looks super good.
Yeah, so I was so excited. I love the colours. I love the fit. This is the first time I've worn it. I am getting a slight bit of puckering just here, but I think that's my own fault, because I was blocking it. It was still on the blocking mat yesterday. And last night I went to feel it. I was like, ooh, it's still a little damp, and I was blocking it down in the basement, so it's a bit cool. And I was like, I'm just going to take it off the blocking mat, and I popped it over the banister just to make sure it was going to dry off so I could wear it today. So I probably didn't give it as long as I needed to. So I think I'm just going to give a little steam block to this section again. But I love it. I can't believe it's done just in time for autumn. The humidity in Nova Scotia finally dropped because it's been stinking hot. So now I can actually wear it and go out and be snugly in it, and I love it.
Yay! Super good. Ooh, sorry. Still battling a little bit of a cough. No, it's fine.
Oh, no.
Such a gorgeous sweater. It's also super good timing that you're wearing this today, because it reminded me that I also wanted to share with everyone that Merrymaker, while it is still available in issue 7, and we still have copies of issue 7 if you want it, we've just added that as a single PDF to our website as well. So if you like this and you want to just get the single PDF, it's up on the website. Just click on the patterns heading, and then you'll find it. Plus, I know that Jill will be releasing a hat and cowl set that we'll also have on the website in just a few days. So if you like this,
definitely check that pattern out. And especially if you have a rogue skein of lace weight floof hanging around because you can totally.
Yeah. I still can't believe that I was so sure you were at least going to play Yard Chicken with that one skein. Like,
I was certain, and I don't know if just maybe there was more yardage in the skein than was listed. Because, but also maths isn't my strong suit, so I could also have just calculated wrong. But I kind of worked out based on the yardage in the pattern if I was going to have enough, and I was like, it's going to be tight, but it should be fine. But yeah,
yeah,
I still have all this, so yeah.
nice. You could
So you
do a
could
hat.
totally do it. I could do a hat, couldn't I?
Yeah,
Oh, I could do
yeah.
a hat. I still have, look, and I still have some of the main colour left. Oh, with, hello. That's some stuffing from Tilly's toy that she destroyed.
Oh my God.
There's a reason you're only seeing this bit of the house right now.
Like everything on the other side.
Disaster.
Fine. I think dogs and toddlers are probably pretty equal in the amount of havoc they can
Yep.
wreak. So yeah.
So before we move on from any of the issue 8 things, I know you have a bunch of updates too about shop news. We have a cal running, but issue 8 is going to start on the 15th. So if you have already cast on something from issue 8, or planning to, or now desperately want to because we've shown you so many fun things, starting on the 15th, we're going to be having an issue 8 cal. It's going to be super fun. Hanna Lisa is going to be hosting it over in stories on Instagram, and it's going to be super chill. There's, like, if you don't finish by the deadline, what did we set as the deadline? I did set it in the, because I've written it in an email already. I think I said the end of November, till the end of November,
Okay.
I think.
So it's the end of November then.
Because that made sense. Yeah,
I
that makes
actually
sense.
don't know. I think it makes sense because it's like just over 2 months.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's like 2.5 months. If you don't finish your chosen project by the end of that, it's absolutely fine. As you know, Exhibit A, we don't knit so fast, at least I don't. So there's never any pressure to get it done. If you've already started, great, join in with your whip. If you want to start on the 15th with us, then also great. There'll be prizes drawn every week, and there will be like a little fun if people do have like FOs by the end of it. We'll draw a prize from there too, but it's just going to be fun and chilled, and we're going to be doing it over on Instagram. And I've also set a hashtag, I'm trying to remember now. It's Making Stories Campfire. MS Campfire Cal is the hashtag that we're going to be using. So I'll put all the details below. I'll put everything below that's going to be much more clear than my rambling right now. So do check it out if you want to join in with us. Please do, because it's going to be so much fun.
Do so. It's going to be really fun and also really low key. Like none of us really likes cals that are like very strict with very strict rules because we always break the rules anyway.
Always. And all you need to do is pick a pattern from issue 8 to join.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use whatever yarn you like. It doesn't have to be purchased from Making Stories, though. If you want to, head over to the web shop and check out our yarns.
Look, like if you want to, by all means. Like, so just a really quick note on the yarns. So we have 4 brand new yarns that we just launched for issue 8. So we have Highland Decay, which is the yarn used, like yarn by Life in the Long Grass, used for pyrite.
Gorgeous.
We have Ginger Twist Studios Mesha May MDK for Orlina. We have Lani Vendole's Chic Blend for the Acorn mittens.
I love those mittens. They're also on my list.
It's not focusing, yeah. And we have a brand new restock with lots of fun autumnal colorways for Mominoki yarns, Finwool for the Walden socks.
They're so cool as well.
All of these are in the web shop right now. There's a longer video where I talk about all of the yarns and all of the colorways. I want you to know that the yarns and kits, or the kits, they will be going away at the end of this month. So we're only selling them for a month and then they're gone. So if you like them, you better move fast because some of the colorways are already sold out and we're selling through the rest pretty quickly. So, yep, go get some yarn.
I'll put all the links below. So,
Yeah.
and also I'll link to those other videos in case you haven't checked them out. So, yay! Oh, those acorn mittens. Now I've seen those.
I
I
know.
spaced out for a minute then when you were talking at the end because then I was like, what's in my stash that I can knit with the acorn mittens?
Yeah, they were super good, super fun.
Yeah.
Elsa, one other team member of ours, just cast them on.
I
So,
saw that and I was like, I love
yeah,
them. I love that little like the little folded. What do we call that?
a
Is it a
little
welt?
weld.
A welt.
Yeah,
Welt's a weird word. I never liked welt as a word,
yeah,
but it looks so cool on there. So I'm
it
gonna be
does.
knitting those as well.
Yeah. Alrighty, so a few announcement things that have launched, things that we want you to know about in no particular order whatsoever, because there is just like a lot of different, a smorgasbord of things. So we have 3 new individual patterns up on the website. Maybe we can put like little photos of the original samples photos in here. So as I already said, Merrymaker is one of them. So all 3 are from issue 7. So Merrymaker is up on the website. Then Cigar, everyone's favorite V-neck I know V-neck cardigan from issue 7 is available. She needs 24 hours in the day to knit. So Cigar is also available as an individual PDF on our website now. And Serendipity, which is the wonderful, wonderful t-shirt that we had in issue 7, is also available as an individual pattern on our website. So if any of those, catch your eye, and you can just go and purchase them from us. And we just take like a minimal cut, like most of the proceeds go to the designers. So that was announcement number 1. Announcement number 2, and I don't think we've talked about this, or I've talked about this in my solo episode, is that we launched something pretty quickly, but that's quickly become one of my really like favorite things, I think, about where our work is progressing, and that's called the Making Stories Collective. Now, I want to talk about why we launched the collective first, and then I'm going to tell you about what it is. So, the summer was shit for our business, like it was for a lot of other businesses, especially in the yarn world as well, and I think in the broader world also. I think we're all seeing, no matter like whether it's in our business or just with our weekly trip to the grocery store, we're seeing rising prices everywhere. Inflation is a real thing, and that is kind of a double whammy for a business that's as small as ours, because it meant that our sales dipped lower than our usual summer slump. And at the same time, our costs that we also committed to, like the printing of our issue 8, they were a lot higher. Like printing for issue 8 was 20% more than for issue 7, which is like, there was like 4 months between me placing those 2 orders, right? Price increase of 20% and no end in sight is not great. And so, so in August, when I looked at the numbers of July, I realized that we really weren't in a good place. Like we had burned through almost all of our buffer money just by the sheer fact of this incredibly high printing bill, and then also lower sales. And at the same time, I've also come to a realization that I deserve to be paid for this work that I'm doing. And that's not something that I've been very transparent about before, but I haven't paid myself since I came back from maternity leave for the work that I'm doing, and I'm working a full-time job. And the reason that I was able to do that is because I was in a very privileged position with a wonderful husband who was like, yes, like you're also doing a lot of the childcare, and care work is also work. So I'll support us financially. But A, I'm not happy with that anymore. And B, he's also starting his own company. And so we are in a situation where I need to bring in money. And I think it's also like, it's a big, big, big problem in our industry that we assume, I think, that companies are doing really well, or people are also, like getting rich or making lots of money, who in reality aren't. And one of the things that's always been very important to me for all things making stories, not just the transparency, but it's also the professionalism. Like, this is not a hobby, but it
No.
is a hobby if the owner is not paying herself.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And it's not fair to me, but it's also not fair to every other person out there who was not or is not in a privileged position where she doesn't need to be paying herself, because it means that I'm kind of perpetuating this story of this successful business making stories, and you can do this, and it can be sustainable financially for everyone involved, including the owner, where that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality. And so that was something that that took up a lot of my brain space in August, and the very honest realization that there was or still is a realistic chance that making stories won't be around for much longer if we don't manage to create more sales and generate additional income streams. And that there's also either because the money just won't cover the expenses anymore, or also because I won't be able to do making stories anymore because I won't be able to pay myself. And I love this work, and I think it's important. Like, I think we're showing that, we can change the world in our little corner of the world, and that, what we do matters. And I want this company to stick around. So all of that to say, one of the things that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and then, finally decided to do, is launch something that is like a Patreon. I say like a Patreon because it's not run on Patreon, but it's on our own website, and it's called the Making Stories Collective. It works exactly like a Patreon in the sense that it is a monthly membership. So every month you pay a certain amount, and then you get something in return. We have 3 levels right now, and I don't foresee changing that at any point in the future. So we have the mini skiing level, which is just €5, or with the current exchange rate, $5 a month. That is for you if you want to support our work, if you like us, and if you want us to stick around, and you want to give a little something into the Making Stories income pot, so to say. The second level that we have is the full skiing level, which comes in at €15 a month. And with that, you get access to an exclusive behind the scenes blog. So that will have a few exclusive posts and videos every month. You also get early access to all our products. So a day before things launch for everyone else, you get early access to them. And you also get access to collective exclusive products. So a couple of times a year, there will be things that we're launching just for you. So those are the things that you're getting. And then we have our sweater quantity level, which comes in at €45 a month, which has all of those things. And then in addition, you get a standing 10% off everything in our web shop always. So yeah, the Making Stories Collective is open like all the time, so you can sign up at any point in time. We'll pop the link in the down bar below, and then hopefully you like it, and hopefully you'll support us through that. We have about 25 people joined by now, I think, which I'm very grateful for. I've just hit publish on the first collective exclusive blog post at the beginning of the week, which was super fun to write. So it's a behind the scenes on what we'll be working on this month. So yeah, that's the collective.
I love the collective. I think
Me
it's so
too.
exciting and a big, well done, because I know it wasn't easy to, talk about all that. It's always so hard, and there is that pressure of, especially when on Instagram and things, I think, to show this perfect side of business and life, and it's hard to kind of speak up and say, actually, things aren't going so well, and this is the reality. And so a big hug and a well done to you for talking
Thank
about
you.
it, because it is important that people know
Yeah.
that, things aren't always as they appear, and there's a lot of comparing yourself to other people going on, so you never really know what's happening. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
ah,
Thank you. So yeah, I think that was everything. Did I forget anything?
sock boxes.
Oh my God. See? True. This is an incredibly long episode with a lot of things. All right, so let me keep this really quick with the sock boxes. So, we are launching our first ever box of things, which will be a sock box because we love knitting socks, and Socktober is coming around quickly. And we're opening the pre-orders for those sock boxes, which will include an all-natural sock yarn, hand-dyed for us by a lovely maker according to a specific mood board, and then a lovely set of stitch markers, and then an additional gift, which is in this box that's sitting right next to me, and it's amazing, and I'm not going to show you. And also a pattern inspiration email with 3 pattern ideas for socks that you can knit from that yarn. That's the general concept. We're launching the sock boxes as a year-long subscription. So a quarterly sock box will be coming to your doorstep 4 times a year if you decide on your year of socks with Making Stories. But you'll also be able to purchase the sock boxes individually, so you can just purchase the October sock box. There's like lots more to talk about all of that, but that's also why we've created an exclusive sock box waitlist, and we'll be popping the link to that in the down bar below. So if you are a sock knitter, because the pre-orders are coming up really quickly, we'll open them in the week after next, I think. I would highly encourage you to sign up for that sock box waitlist. We're not going to spam your inbox. It's really, truly just a thing of like, hey, this is coming. Hey, this is life. And in order, to give a little something back to everyone who signs up for the waitlist, we're running a little giveaway over there. So everyone who enters the waitlist can win a Socktober sock box. We're giving away one Socktober sock box. So yeah,
I'm excited for that.
I'm honestly, like, I am so thrilled about this. Like, I have not had that much fun putting together a product in a very, very long time, and I'm already, so the October sock box is going to be so good, and then the January one is already shaping up to be super amazing. Like, it's going to be very good.
I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Also, you can totally combine those things, right? Like, just putting this out there, if you want to subscribe to the sweater quantity level for the collective, you get your 10% discount and early bird access to the sock box pre-order.
Ooh, yeah.
That's the thing. So yeah, lots of fun things happening. And we've almost officially hit our first 60-minute podcast episode.
We should say goodbye.
All right. Okay. Goodbye. No. Thank you so much for watching. For sticking with us, for supporting our work, for being here, for liking what we do. We appreciate you very, very much. And we'll see you here again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Alrighty.
Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you then.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.